Jai Hind. Today we are going to start the new chapter Atoms. It consists of Thomson's model of atom, alpha particle scattering experiment, Rutherford model of atom and Bohr atom model. The first one is Thomson's model of atom. In 1897, J. Thomson conducted experiments on discharge tube filled with different gases. There he concluded that all the elements contain negatively charged particles which were later known as electrons. Since atom is electrically neutral, it must also contain some positively charged particles in it. So, the total positive charge inside the atom is equal to negative charge. Based on these assumptions, in 1898, J. Thomson proposed that an atom is a sphere of positively charged matter with electrons embedded in it. The positive charge is uniformly distributed over the entire atom and the arrangement of electrons inside the continuous positive charge is similar to that of the seeds in a watermelon or the plums in pudding. So, this model of atom is known as plum pudding model. The electrons are arranged in such a manner that their mutual repulsions are balanced by the positively charged particles. So, the atom as a whole is electrically neutral. There is some failure for the Thomson's model of atom. First one is, it could not explain the spectral series of hydrogen and other atoms. Spectral series you will study in the continuation of the chapter. And the second drawback, it could not explain the alpha particle scattering experiment conducted by Rutherford. See the animated part of Thomson's model of atom. Positive charge is uniformly distributed and electrons are embedded like the seeds in watermelon or plums in pudding. Alpha particle scattering experiment or Geiger-Marsden experiment. In 1911, on the suggestion of Rutherford, his two associates Geiger and Marsden performed experiments on the scattering of alpha particle from thin gold foil. It reveals the structure of atom. So, what is an alpha particle? It is a helium ion, that is, helium atom from which both electrons have been removed. It has charge equal to plus 2e and mass nearly 4 times the mass of a proton. The figure shows the schematic arrangement of Geiger-Marsden experiment. It consists of source of alpha particle, that is bismuth 21483, and lead bricks, thin gold foil, a rotatable detector with zinc sulfide screen and a microscope. Then what is the experiment? From the source of alpha particles are emitted. They are collimated into a narrow beam by their passage through the lead bricks. The beam is allowed to fall on a thin gold foil. Thin gold foil consists of many number of atoms and the thickness of the thin gold foil is nearly 2.1 into 10 raised to minus 7 meter, that is very small. So, this beam of alpha particle fall on the thin gold foil and scattered in different directions. Here theta is the angle of scattering, that is angle between the gold atom and the scattered alpha particle. The alpha particles scattered in different directions are observed with the help of a rotatable detector, and it consists of a zinc sulfide screen and a microscope. Whenever the scattered alpha particle strikes on the screen, it produces some scintillations, that is tiny flashes, and it can be viewed through the microscope. In this way, the number of alpha particles scattered in different directions can be counted. The whole apparatus is arranged in an evacuated chamber to avoid scattering of alpha particles by air molecules. This is the experiment. What are the observations made by Rutherford from the experiment? After observing the experiment, he drawn a graph like this. The graph is between number of particles scattered and scattering angle theta. There are two observations noted in the graph. One is theoretical observation and the other is experimental observation. The curved line shows the theoretical observation and the dots represents the experimental observation. So what is the difference between theoretical and experimental observation? Experimental observation means it is the real one. Here, when the atoms, that is alpha particles, strikes on the zinc sulfide screen, scintillations are produced. He noted it as dotted lines in the graph. Theoretical observation means it is from the predictions. So it is noted as a curved line. So what are the observations from the graph? Here the scattering angle is noted 0, 20 degree, 40 degree, 60 degree, 80 degree, etc. up to 180 degree. Number of particles scattered is noted 10 raised to 1, 10 square, 10 raised to 3, 10 raised to 4, 10 raised to 5, 10 raised to 6, 10 raised to 7. When you are drawing this graph, no need of writing this 20 degree, 40 degree, etc. and 10 square, 10 raised to 3, etc. Only you draw the nature of the graph. So from the graph, we can observe below 1 degree, the number of particles scattered is more. That is 10 raised to 6, 10 raised to 7, etc. These number of particles suffer very small scattering angle. That is, they suffer small deflections. More than 1 degree, about 0.14% of the incident particles scattered. That is, number of particles decreases. You just see the theoretical observation. Then more than 90 degree, about 1 in 8,000 get deflected. So number of scattered particle decreases, but the scattering angle increases. Then more than 180 degree, occasionally one alpha particle deflected. That is, it gets rebound from the gold foil. So scattering angle is large, that is 180 degree. So these are the observations done by Rutherford from the experiment. We will see in detail. Look at this figure. It represents the gold atom, and the lines A, A dash, B, B dash, C, C dash and D represents the alpha particle passes through the gold atom. So the first observation is most of the alpha particle suffer small scattering angle, that is less than 1 degree. That represents the lines A and A dash. So the alpha particle A and A dash suffer small scattering angle theta. More than 1 degree, the number of particles scattered is less, but the scattering angle is more. It represents the alpha particle B, B dash, C, C dash and D. So these alpha particle suffers large angle scattering, and the D represents that the alpha particle reaches through a distance and it rebounds. So the scattering angle is 180 degree. So to explain this large angle scattering, Rutherford suggested that all the positive charge and mass of the atom is concentrated in a very small region called nucleus of the atom. Because of this positively charged nucleus, B, B dash, C, C dash and D repels, that is deflected. Positively charged alpha particle repels from the positively charged nucleus of the atom. So the alpha particle B, B dash, C, C dash and the D suffers large angle scattering. Alpha particle D rebounds, that is head-on collision. It suffers head-on collision and it rebounds, and the scattering angle is 180 degree. But A and A dash is at a very large distance from the nucleus of the atom, so it suffers very small deflections. So it suffers the small scattering angle theta. So from all these observations, Rutherford concluded that as most of the alpha particle passes straight through the gold foil, so most of the space within the atom must be empty. Then second point, the mass of the atom is concentrated in a very small region called nucleus of the atom. And the third conclusion of the experiment is the nucleus is surrounded by a cloud of electrons whose total negative charge is equal to total positive charge on the nucleus, so that the atom as a whole is electrically neutral. So this is the significance of the experiment. Here shows the animation of alpha particle scattering experiment. Alpha particle passes straight through gold foil and scintillations are produced. Some alpha particle suffers large angle scattering and some rebounds with an angle of 180 degree. Thank you.